Hello guys, I'm Boden, and today I want to take some time and address an issue of great importance to a lot of you. The problem is, it isn't of great importance to a lot of you until it's too damn late, and I want to talk to you guys about this because it's a big deal, and I care about you guys, and it turns out we get to talk about sex. Now the thing about sex is, it's something that a lot of you are spending like 90% of your time thinking about, a fraction of a percent of your time doing, and like less than 5% of your time actually talking about. And the information out there is quite simply terrifying. And I have a problem with that, and well, you know what happens when I have a problem with something. I get on the camera and I gotta start talking. So, I'm gonna talk to you for a minute, and we're gonna learn some things, and you're gonna pay attention, okay? Because we're gonna talk about sex, which means I've got everybody's attention. And what it boils down to is the safe and responsible ownership of genitals, okay? Because here's the thing. First off, a lot of you, smart people. Smart people. You guys are engineers, you know how to build shit, you know how to make shit, you know how to fix shit. Turns out, you don't know a hell of a lot about virology and bacteriology and all the ologies. There's a lot of ologies. And people, when it comes to that, are overwhelmingly really dumb. This is compounded with the fact that that sex thing seems to be pretty popular. And a lot of you are doing it, and a lot of you don't have the ability to safely operate a motor vehicle, much less genitals, because it turns out if you use them wrong, you can make a whole nother person. Now you got a pain in the ass. So, let's cover some basic stuff. This isn't going to be like a whole sex thing. This is just one particular thing that I want to talk to you guys about. People are gross. Just accept that fact. People fucking gross. And I'm not even talking about particularly gross people. Okay, and I know a few. You know who you are. Just, you take fucking Brad Pitt and pick a supermodel, and if they get naked and start knocking boots, if you really look at it, it's pretty fucking gross. It's just how this shit works. And it isn't just you that are gross. It's the hundreds of thousands of little creepy crawlies that are sharing your body with you, because you're not alone in this world. You're never alone in this world. You have hundreds of thousands of little... You're going to try and share a lane with me, and I don't want to share with you right now. You have hundreds of thousands of little creepy crawlies that live on your body and in your body. Some of them are transient, just passing through. Happens all the time. Enjoy that organic fresh produce. Some of them like to hang around a while. And if you like having sex, and I know you do, you can share those creepy crawlies with other people. This includes everything from simple bacterial infections like syphilis and chlamydia to viral infections like HIV and herpes, and the viral ones, those are like luggage. Once you get that, you got that shit forever. And then there's the parasitical infections. They call those children. Yeah. And they stay parasites for, well, depending on whose family you're in, can be 30, 40 years. This is not acceptable to me. This is one of those things that falls into the category of bad and easy to fix. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to understand a couple fundamental things, okay? First off, you need to get tested. You really do. This is important. It can be a little scary. It can be a lot unnerving, but it isn't that big a deal. And I'm going to show you that. This is totally doable. You can handle this. And it's something that you need to do. If you're sexually active, and I don't care if you've only ever had protected sex, I don't care if you've only ever had sex with one person for like 8 years, and they're the love of your life, and you totally trust them, and you never, ever, ever, ever cheat on them, and they would totally never, ever cheat on you, and you know everything there is to know about each other, and nobody would ever lie. Get over your fucking self. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to go and get tested. Because the prevalence of simple STDs is so staggering. It's just, it blow your mind. Absolutely blow your mind. So let's talk about the basics of why you want to get tested. There's the bacterial side. Now the bacterial ones are like, I'm just going to stick with the really, really common stuff because there's like 10 fucktillion STDs out there, but let's just stick with the ones that you're actually going to care about. There's chlamydia, syphilis, gonorrhea, what else? I'm going to stick with those three. Those are the big three, really. There's a couple other little hangers on, but chlamydia, syphilis, gonorrhea. They're all bacteria, okay, which is really good. This is what you want. If you have an STD, you want a bacterial one. They're the best. Okay, these are my favorite. If you leave them alone, bad shit happens, especially if you're a girl. It's worse if you're a girl. But like untreated syphilis, just get on Google. Do a Google image search for untreated syphilis. Will actually melt holes in your head. Like totally fucks you. Will eat your brain. Okay, make you crazy. Now, if you die from syphilis, which takes a lot of doing in the 21st century, but it can be done, you've got some pretty famous company. There's a lot of famous people who have died from syphilis. Look that up. It's actually kind of a cool list. A lot of names you're going to recognize. Pretty common gig. But the cool thing about syphilis, chlamydia, and gonorrhea is that they're really easy to get rid of. Really easy. Like, you get a shot, you take a couple pills, and off you go. Okay? Pretty much, antibiotics will kill any of those three. And these are simple antibiotics, like just common everyday stuff will do it. It's really cool. Which is why those three diseases are a lot easier to handle since we went and invented antibiotics, and people don't die from syphilis anymore. They do, but not in the United States so much. Then we've got the heavies. Okay, because once you're, if you got a bacteriological infection, you're set. But then there's the heavies. And the heavies are kind of weird because you've got things like herpes. Now, herpes comes in several flavors. And the scary thing is, you probably have herpes. If you are, let's make it nice and easy. If you're over 30 and you live in an urban environment and you've had sex with, more than just a few people, the odds that you have herpes are staggeringly high. But here's the bitch of it. The odds that you have herpes and don't know it are really high. Because it's really easy to get, and it's really easy to get from places that you're not expecting, like your grandmother. Yeah, you, right? And it's really easy to have, and it stays dormant for a long time. Now, herpes comes in a few different flavors, so let's talk about that. There's herpes 1. Now, this is referred to as HSV1. It's the herpes simplex virus. Herpes 1 is, I hope I get this right, sometimes I get them mixed up, so if I get them mixed up, don't beat me over the head about this, but it's 1 and 2, and I think 1 is oral herpes. This is where if you've ever had a cold sore, ever, okay, that's herpes. And if you've ever had a cold sore, you have herpes, still. Because it's like luggage, man, it's for life. It's a gift that keeps on giving. And herpes is actually a very mild skin disease. It's pretty knucklehead because it really is just cold sores. I mean, there's not a lot to it. But if you get herpes 1, the upper half herpes, it migrates, it moves. Once you get it, no matter where you get it, it's going to move to a certain specific few places. And it can be anywhere. You can get it anywhere. It actually lives in your nerves, and whatever nerves it lives in could be anywhere in your body. But as a rule, it tends to pick certain specific areas. Herpes 1 likes to live right behind the ear. It hangs out back here. And it'll infect your face, usually around the mouth. It likes mucous membranes. Mucous membranes are any part of your body that gets slimy. Okay, so like your mouth counts as a mucous membrane, and which way? I'm gonna go this way. And like your eyes are a mucous membrane, your nose is a mucous membrane, your labia, your urethra, anus, any of that jazz, that's a mucous membrane. Herpes likes those a lot because they're soft, gushy, warm, just full of love. Herpes 2 lives below the waist, if I've got them right. I might not, and you really want to check this. Don't take my word for anything. Do your own fucking research and look this shit up, because it's important. Herpes 2 lives below the waist and hangs out in all the fun spots, okay? So, genital, anal, that whole jazz. And the results are pretty much the same. It's little clusters, cold sore type thing, except it's on your asshole, and man, that'll make you cranky. So, the thing with herpes is, it's a really mild bullshit thing. And almost everybody has it in an urban environment because it spreads like fucking wildfire. That's the bitch of it. There's no cure, it's really easy to communicate, and you have it forever. And you don't die from it, and the symptoms aren't all that big a deal. But the social stigma to herpes is massive. And that's really bullshit. It bugs me a lot that people look down on certain diseases worse than others, especially when those diseases tend to be bullshit. People really look down on depression. People really look down on herpes. People really look down on a lot of really stupid diseases, and that's dumb. And because of that, we don't have intelligent conversations about them, and that bothers me a lot. So, the other big viral one, and this is the big bitch, is HIV. And the cool thing is, when I was a kid, the world discovered AIDS, okay? Because I was an 80s kid. And right when I was coming, like, into being a human being, AIDS came out in a huge way, and we were all terrified of everything. I didn't even get to masturbate until I was 35 years old because we didn't know what the fuck. And it was terrifying, and it was a really big deal. And getting AIDS was a fucking instant death sentence. You're fucked, you're dead, you're done. And it isn't like that anymore. And that's really cool, because it turns out that science shit actually works. And it isn't the gay cancer anymore, or the gay AIDS. It's AIDS. But it starts out as HIV. And HIV is not AIDS. HIV is the virus that leads to causing AIDS. Sometimes, not always. But it's another one of those, you have it for the rest of your life. The good news is, hey cows, the good news is, now, if you have HIV, your life can be appreciably longer because we have really cool antiviral drugs, and retrovirals, and all kinds of cool shit. It's really neat. And I have several friends with HIV, and I have 2 friends with full-blown AIDS, and all of them, at this moment, are leading happy, healthy, normal lives. And that's really cool. I have a friend, awesome guy, love him to bits. Queer's a $3 bill. Oh my god. Hi, Big Daddy D. Talking about you. And he got HIV and went to AIDS and got bad, really bad. Like, was in a wheelchair, couldn't work, lost his job, just bad, really, really fucked up. Today, his viral load is so low that if he were to take an AIDS test, it'd come up negative. That's how good the science has gotten. So the trick is, you don't know what you don't know. And if you have HIV and you don't know it, you're fucked. You're going to die. Because you can't address it, you can't treat it, you can't fix it, you can't handle it. And that's bad. So those are the big ones to worry about. And that's why you need to get tested. Because you don't know what you don't know. And the only way to know is to go and do some science. And it's easy science and it's simple science. And we're going to go today and do some science. Because your regimen may not be as intense as mine because I'm a little paranoid and I deal with a lot of sex. So my regimen is at the level of fanatical. I get tested full blood panel twice a year for everything. And I am happy to report that at this moment, I have the clean genitals and sparkling blood of an 18-year-old Mormon virgin boy. The trick is to get tested regularly. I would recommend, if you're sexually active, typical, adult in the United States or, worldwide, turns out they have sex in other places too, that you should get tested annually. It's not a big deal. It's not expensive. The place I go, it's a couple $100. That's it. It's a couple $100. You get a little blood draw, you pee in a cup, and off you go. You get your results back in a couple days and everything's cool. But you gotta do this. And a lot of people don't because they're scared of it, because they don't know what's involved and they don't know the process, and not knowing is scary. That's what we're scared of. We're scared of what we don't know. And if you know the truth, man, the truth is empowering, the truth is awesome. And it's my job to help you to get off your ass and to go out and make positive change in your world. And that's what I want to help you do, is I want to help you to have good sex. I want to help you to have a healthy life and good sex and live in a positive way. And I'm not going to tell you to get a heart full of Jesus and don't ever touch anybody and don't ever masturbate, because that's bullshit and you're not going to do it. And we both know that. I want you to be healthy. I want you to have great sex, because sex is awesome. But what I want to do is make sure that you don't get any creepy crawlies and you don't share any creepy crawlies. That's as much as I care about it. Beyond that, as long as what you're doing is safe, sane, and consensual, I don't give a shit. If you want to have somebody tie you up and butter your balls in peanut butter and let the honey badger eat them off, knock yourself out. Just make sure that honey badger wears a condom. That's important. Always make sure your honey badger is wearing a condom. Or gloves. Gloves, get boots, maybe. Yeah. So, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go and get tested, because I do it every 6 months, and I'm a month late for my test. I usually do it. I got a really good setup, because my birthday's May 31st, and it's like exactly 6 months off from Christmas. So every Christmas, every birthday, I go and get my blood drawn and pee in a cup, and it's cool, and there's nothing to it. So I'm going to go do this today. I'm going to take you along with me, and I don't know if they'll let me shoot video or not, but we'll try. And if they do, awesome. And we'll just rock out and do this thing. So, yeah, that's really the basics of it, is I want you to not be afraid. I want you to get off your butt. I want you to get tested. Now, a lot of the people that watch my blog are virgins. I'm not worried about you. You're fine for now. But this is things to remember in the future. When you're sexually active, the safe and responsible ownership of genitalia is really important. And a lot of people don't do this. And these people piss me off. Because I don't want you getting diseases. I don't want you spreading diseases. I want the sun to go down another 5 degrees. Mm-hmm. Am I just totally killing your shot right now? Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, but move it out here.
Okay.
That's totally comfortable.
Yes.
Straight. I'll drive fast and turn up here. How about that?
That sounds fantastic.
Okay. Stop recording for a minute.
Okay. And...
Alright. Are you better now?
Oh, I'm better.
I got rid of your sun? Okay.
Yes.
Just like that. I moved the sun 90 degrees. Look at the size of those anthills. Fuck. So, let's talk about some other things. Because the testing thing, here's what's involved. You go in, and basically you go on a website. This is how mine works. Yours may work differently, but I'm going to tell you how it works for me. You go on this website, you fill out a thing, you order your thing, you pay for it, you pick what test you want. Now this is the important thing. Because if you go and get tested at like your local county health department or something like that, most places, not all of them, but most places, only test for 4 things. They test for chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, and HIV. And that's it. And that's bad. Because you could have other shit and not know you have other shit. And you go in and get tested and your paperwork says, I'm free and easy and awesome and yay! And you go out and get laid. And maybe your girlfriend's on the pill or something. And you're banging her and you don't know that you've got herpes. Or she's got it or something like that. Now you're fucked. Now you got a problem. And it's and you didn't know any better. You went and paid your money and took your test and did everything just like you're supposed to, and you got screwed. And I know people that's happened to. And I don't want you to be, I don't want any more friends like that. Hey, you wanna see something cool? See that house right there? It's where I grew up. It's my house when I was a kid. That little building was my first recording studio. So here's what you get, how it works for me, what you can expect. The place I go to, you go on a website, you pick what test you want, and you can pick a lot. It's way more than just like STD testing. You can get like your white count, your red count, and platelets, and plasma, and chooch and shit that I don't begin to understand. But there's a lot. You can, like, they got like kidney stones and shit. I don't know. But you pick what you want to be tested for. For me, I get it's a 10-pack. It's 10 tests, and it's everything. It's every STD under the sun that you have any, like, unless you live in the jungles of Peru and you're ass-raping wallabies or something, you're fine. Now, if you're Australian, all bets are off because they grow some funky shit over there. Okay. You pick out what you want on a website, you pay on a credit card, and you go in. You can go in that day. And you don't have to set an appointment. You can go whenever works for you. And you just go in, you hang out, here, you sign into the thing, that's me, that's my number, let's go. And you have a printout from the website, and you hand it to the lady, and she'll draw your blood, and you pee in a cup, and you're totally set. Ah, derriere. Derriere. Oh yeah, God, it's home. See, some people come out here and be like, fuck, oh my God. To me, it's like, it's home. Southbound end of a northbound cow. It's lovely. It's just like mom. Reminds me of mom.
Cowpox, also viral.
Yes! And that's how we cured smallpox. It's one of my favorite viruses. I love smallpox. It's great. It's so efficient. So you go in, you pee in a cup, you get your blood drawn. And it's trivial. And that's the part that freaks people out. They're like, oh my God, I'm gonna use it. No, there's nothing to it. In fact, I'm gonna break that down for you and show you. I'm gonna try and get a camera in there with me when we go. And if I do, I'll get video of the actual thing. That may be really hard to do because of HIPAA, and I don't know how much I'll get because it's gonna be tricky, but I'll try. Okay, so let's see what we get out of that. So, I have a lot of friends that are kinky bastards, and I wanted to take a minute as part of the Sunday Night Sex Ed and all that to shoot a blog segment showing you guys exactly how easy and efficient it is to go and get tested and why you should do this at least once a year. I do it every 6 months because, well, with my endless amount of drugs and prostitutes, you know, you really want to stay on top of things. But it's really easy, there's nothing to it, and this is the entire process. You come, and they got vacutainers, which are kind of cool. It isn't like back in the dark ages. They actually have this really nifty double-edged needle with a little cup, and she just pops a cup on there and fills it full of blood. And it's easy, don't worry, you'll make more blood. It's not a big deal. I won't lie to you and say it doesn't hurt. This is definitely not something I'd want to do for fun every day, but it really isn't that big a deal. And, you know, I'm not crying, and I'm a big pussy man. And if I can do this, if I can come here and have this very mean, terrible woman stab me and drain half my blood, I'm sure you can endure it. But the reason you want to do this is because for the vast majority of things that can go wrong with your dangly bits, especially if you're a guy, you won't even know. And that's bad, because what we want to do is keep people from spreading all of these things all over the world. And if you get online and do your own research, don't take my word for it. Get out there and do your homework and see what the transmission rates are and the prevalence of all the various STDs that are out there. The thing to keep in mind is for most people to get tested, if you just go to like your local county health department or get the free testing and stuff like that, most places only test for 4 things. They test, what are you? Oh, I get a Band-Aid. I get a Band-Aid. I love you. Most places only test for 4 things. You get tests for chlamydia, syphilis, gonorrhea, and usually HIV. That isn't enough. If you want to get tested and get it done right, do the research, look around, and get tested by a place that actually does it for real. This place that I go to does clinical labs for hospitals, and they test for everything. You can even find out about like your white blood count and kidney stones and all kinds of cool stuff. Check it out, do the research, and I'll provide some links for you guys for anybody who's interested. Now, I gotta go pee in a cup. You don't need to watch that part, it'll just ruin your ego and make you cry. You guys have fun, I'll be back. Alright, so that's what we got out of that. I'm sorry I couldn't get a lot of video, I tried, but it's the best I could do. I had to keep everybody's face out of it, and I can't talk about where I went and all that jazz because HIPAA is fuck nuts, is what HIPAA is. But it serves a purpose, so we're just going to play the man's game, all right? And as you saw, a simple blood draw, pee in a cup, nothing to it, and I made a perfect pee. I am happy to report, because the thing with going in for that is you always got the blood. You never have to pee. I did, but just enough. They give you like an 8-ounce cup, and I had like a 7-ounce pee, so I had like an inch from the top of the cup, which is just very proud of that. Just like, there's my cup. And so that's cool. Now what's going to happen is I'll get my results back in a couple days, and I'll even share them with you guys and show you like what's up with that, and that'll be fun. So that's the process, though. It's really that easy. And I'll break it down for you in even further detail and show you like the actual implements used, okay? We'll break that down because I can source those, and because they're easy to get. I know a medical supply place. So let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at the actual implements used, and then you can get an idea of what's actually involved so that you don't have to be scared of this shit, because there's really nothing to it. No, not there. No. No. Ah! Yeah, that's one. Alright, so let's take a minute and look at some of the equipment used and things to expect, okay? The whole system revolves around this. This is a vacutainer. Now what a vacutainer is a test tube with all the air removed, and in the bottom they put some goop, which I think is just an anticoagulant. I don't really know. I'm not a biomed guy, but I think this is just an anticoagulant. The top has a rubber stopper, and then they've got a label that they put the, your sample number on. They don't put your name on it usually. It's just a number. But the idea is that this is a test tube, and they've pulled a vacuum inside it so that if you, well, you'll understand in a second, but this is a test tube with a vacuum, okay? So that's your vacutainer. Now the vacutainer works with this. This is a neat little, really it's just a piece of plastic, but it's a piece of plastic that's designed to perfectly fit a vacutainer, so it doesn't like move around. It guides it right down the middle. And the idea is that you can hold this like this and use it like a needle, like a plunger, like that. That's going to be important in a second, and you'll understand why. Now to screw into this little threaded hole, they've got a couple options. Most places are going to use a setup like this, okay? Now what this is a double needle. Now I'm going to break the seal and open this one. So I'll just pop it right off. So on one side we have this, okay? And this is a piece of rubber. I'm trying to move it here so it makes sense to you guys, but you can see there's a piece of rubber there, right? Now if you put this over here, it screws in to that. So there's a piece of rubber, and when you push the vacutainer down on the rubber, this rubber pushes back and there's a needle in there, and the needle punctures through into there. So now what you've done is applied a vacuum down here, and down here we have a real needle, okay? So you hold that back out of the way. I'm trying to do this without activating it because I don't want to destroy my vacuum. But you hold it like this. When you push on this, this punctures through the rubber stopper, and the rubber here pushes back. This is just a piece of silicone rubber on the end. And this needle punctures into here, and that applies a vacuum here. So what you do is you put this is our patient's arm. We'll use this side. You put this into somebody's arm, and you find your vein. And then when you push this down, it sucks it all out because there's a vacuum in here, and that sucks blood up into here, and this collects blood. And it collects quite a bit. It's enough to, it's everything you need. So, and then when they're done, they just push this down, and it locks over it. There's a little locking tab in there, and that locks on, and then you can just throw this away. So, and I'll cheat that thing in a bit. I'll do it after the video to reset it and put it all back to normal, but this is our contaminated one and can never be used on a human being. But that's okay, because I don't draw blood on people, because that ain't my job. Now there's another way to do this as well. Set this aside and we'll put the cover on for safety, because there is a needle in there. Am I doing that right? There, doing that right. Okay, so that's set aside for safety. So there's another way for people with really tiny veins or with children, and to use a butterfly. Now this is a butterfly, and it's the same. This adapter here screws into here, and it works exactly the same as this. You can look in there and see that they're very, very similar, right? I'm not going to open this because it's sterile, but these are exactly the same, right? So what you do is you screw that into your vacutainer cup, and then you use the butterfly to establish your line, and that's how you're going to get your blood in. And then the other half just works exactly the same. There's nothing to it. Oh, sex ed video. Yeah. Okay. The other stuff involved in this will be gauze pad for when you're done, and alcohol pad for when you start. So they'll wipe you down with this. They'll stick a needle in you. They'll do the vacutainer mojo. They'll probably take a few of these. It won't just be one. It'll be like 3 or 4, depending on the tests you order. It'll vary, but they'll go through a few of these. And the cool thing is, by doing that, they don't have to stick you with a needle 5 times. It's just once, because you got this in the dude. You fill it up, you pop it off. You grab the next one, fill it up, pop it off. Grab the next one. So you can fill these all day long. They can turn your arm into a raisin. And you only need 1 needle stick. And that's really cool. So it doesn't hurt bad. It's not a big deal. And the person who does this, is going to be a phlebotomist, overwhelmingly. And that's a person who does nothing but draw blood all day. They're a professional vampire. These people are awesome. Never, ever, 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 if you can avoid it, never, ever let a doctor draw your blood, because they don't know what the hell they're doing. Yeah, they know the mechanism of it all, but it's like this. Doctors don't actually draw blood very often. They can, they know how, you'll live. But it's like losing your virginity, okay? Like when you're like 18 and you've had sex like 50 times in your entire life. Okay, you're cool, you know what you're doing, you got it worked out, you understand the ins and outs of it, okay, cool. But if you're a dirty, dirty freak show whore, you've been having sex 15 times a day for 25 years, god damn it, you know what you're doing. You've got it worked out. And that's what you want. You want a dirty, dirty needle whore. And phlebotomists, dirty needle whores. They're awesome. They're great. That's what you want, because they know all just the right moves. They got the subtle touch. They're in, they're out. You don't even know what happened. And the difference is fucking striking. It's really cool. If you get your blood drawn by a phlebotomist, it's not uncommon where they can be in and out, and if you're not watching, if you're not paying attention, you won't even know what happened. It's really cool. If you can't get a phlebotomist, get a good nurse, because they're as good as you're going to get. But a phlebotomist is the best. So they're going to wipe you down with alcohol. Let it dry first, and it hurts less. Don't blow on it. That defeats the purpose of the alcohol. They're going to do the needle thing. They're going to take a few things of blood, and then afterwards you get a little gauze pad, and they put that on, and you get a Band-Aid, and you're fine. If you're really lucky, you might even get like a sucker out of the deal. That's the entire kit, though. That's everything involved. So, I got needles in a vacutainer. You want to go?
I did that.
All right. So that's it. That's the implements. Okay. It's a little needle. It's a little thimble thing, and it's a vacutainer. Okay. There's really nothing to it. And now you don't have to be afraid of it. Okay. And I want you to go and do this. I want you to go and get tested. I want you to get checked out, and I want you to be healthy. I'll do more videos like this if you want, just talking about sex things, because somebody needs to, and there's a lot of people out there that are doing this really well, better than I'll ever be able to, because they have the time to really put a lot of other data up and research. Now, I'm just going to talk to you like I would a friend of mine, okay? And I do this for a lot of people, so I know a bit about what I'm talking about. But if you want to know about this stuff, get on YouTube, because there's a couple people doing it really, really well, and I got a lot of respect for them for taking the time to make the videos, talk to people, and help get sex-positive information out there. Be careful what you watch, and don't believe anybody. Do your own research. If somebody tells you that the fucking sky is blue, open a window and take a look. Make your own choices, do your own research. Logic, reason, and critical thinking work. They really do. And I want you to think for yourself. I want you to make your own opinions. I want you to make your own decisions. And I want you to be a happy, healthy person. Alright? So that's what I got for today. You guys have fun. I'll talk to you later. That's today's Captain's Blog. See ya. Alright guys, this is kind of fun. I got my results back like instantly, like 24 hours later, maybe a little bit more. I think it was the evening next day. It's the day after that because I've had stuff to do and I had to print this out and all that. So I figured I would show you what results look like and give you a little bit of info on what you can expect. Now depending on where you go, your results may look different, but these are pretty standardized tests and they're pretty standardized stuff. So this should be relatively accurate for what you can expect. Now I got them in an email, but I printed them out because I wanted to be able to cut off, like, you know, my social security number and all that jazz. So here is your stuff. Here's what you want to get. And this is what the basic results look like. So you get HIV 1 and 2 antigen antibody, and see, it'll tell you the test name, the result you got, any flags, and then a reference range. Okay, and I don't know what lab means, but like. They say fasting unknown. I didn't fast. Some tests, like stuff for blood sugar and stuff like that, you have to not eat for a while. That's what they mean by fasting. But like HIV 1 and 2 antigen antibody 4th generation with RFL, non-reactive, which means I don't have HIV 1, 2. So yay! Then you go down here and go away, and and they have like where are we at? Hepatitis B, which is one that you don't want. I didn't talk about hepatitis that much, and I probably should. Hepatitis is actually, there's like 5 different hepatitis strains. There's A, B, C, D, and E, and I don't know anything about D. I've never heard of D. But they're all viral infections, and they all impact your liver, and they're all generally a rather bad time. Some of them are much worse than others, but by all means, look into hepatitis. It's an interesting thing. I only know a couple people that have it, but it's a thing. But hepatitis B, surface antigen with, I don't know, reflex confirm or whatever, and I am non-reactive. That means I don't have it. So yay, no hepatitis B. Hepatitis C, which is the bad one. That's the one you really don't want. And non-reactive. It's in here, it'll say signal to cutoff is 0.01, and I had less than 1.0. So non-reactive, yay. HSV, which is herpes simplex virus 1 and 2. IgG, type specific, AB, herpes select, okay, cool. And it says my result was less than 0.90 on type 1 and type 2, and then down here, see, it gives you a little chart so you can work it out. So less than 0.90 is a negative, so yay, and cool, so no herpes. And then it goes down, like this is the next page because printed. Hepatitis A, which if you're going to get hepatitis, that's the one you want. Non-reactive, yay. And chlamydia and gonorrhea. So not detected, good, yay. So that's a perfect test. This means that I have the gleaming pure blood of a virgin, really. I think it's really amazing that, and this isn't a surprise to me this time, but it was a surprise to me when I first started getting these on a regular basis. I don't have herpes type 1, and I think that's really amazing, because most people do. That's cold sores and that. So most people have that. And it's really unusual for somebody who is as terrifyingly old as I am, and such a rampant and complete and total whore. So that's kind of cool. But I have the gleaming blood of a Mormon. So yes, a young Mormon virgin boy. It's quite awesome. So that's how it works. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to get. Happy sunshine all around. So now, go and share this with your friends. Go and get tested. It's It's not scary. It's something you can do. It's something everybody should do. Let's be healthier. Except him. And break it down for you, because this is something that you guys really need to know about. Black helicopters. Black helicopters. Okay. Fuck. We're getting out of here.